Finerman, and this is your Fast Money Trade School. Feel like you're getting lost at sea in the stock market? One tip to find your way: follow the whales, Wall Street's most powerful investors. These heavy hitters have to disclose their biggest holdings. Just check out a 13F form filed quarterly to see what Buffett or Icahn have been buying. But before you dive in head first, remember, even whales can get beached. Class dismissed.
Well, what's up? How are you? Does this market have you down? Well, then let's do some Wall Street whale watching. Hello, Brian Mckeon, partner at the JMB FLP. And today we'll be looking at number 62 in my list of the 100 top traders. And today we'll be looking at the Blackrock Equity Dividend Fund. Using this strategy has done so well for me. It's put me in the top 3% in the most recent CNBC tournament, where returns of over 53%. Now what we merely do is follow the holdings of the richest, most successful investors out there, and we find their holdings through these free websites. Then get an average analyst ranking through these free sites. So again, I'd like to remind you all analyst recommendations are as of November 13, 2009. Now looking at the holdings of the Blackrock Equity Dividend Fund, you can see they have Bristol Myers, Chevron, McDonald's, AT&T, IBM, Travelers, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, RTN, and UTX all come in as moderate buys. You can also see the rest of their holdings that come in as hold, and their holdings that come in at a sell using this rating system. So with that, we go to the charts. Now looking at Bristol Myers Squibb, you can see that it's had quite the run up and breakout since July, and has moved in a sideways pattern. Now it's having a bit of resistance here, getting over its current level, and I'd probably say I would look for it to head sideways or possibly even lower. And with stochastics getting close to the overbought level, I'd probably look for this one to move a bit lower. As for Chevron, we've had a breakout in the beginning of October, and it's basically moved sideways for a while. Stochastics is looking like it's going to be heading down, so I would look for this one to either go sideways or down, possibly to its 40-day moving average. As for McDonald's, we had quite the explosive move today, so I would look for that to pull in a bit. But you know, you do have the possibility of a continued move, seeing stochastics is firmly in an embedded status. Based on the stochastics, I would say I'd expect this to move higher, but of the rapidness of the move, I would look for it to move lower. So this one could go either way. As for AT&T, this one's currently above most of its moving averages, but is more or less moving sideways. So I don't expect much out of this one. Stochastics is starting to roll over a bit near the overbought level, so I'd expect this one to continue to move in a sideways trading range. As for IBM, this one's had the breakout in July and has more or less moved sideways since then. You've had a series of breakouts and consolidations, so I would probably look for that to continue. Stochastics is getting close to the overbought level, so I'd probably see you running into this double top and probably moving lower into the 40-day moving average in this level here. As for Travelers, let's see, this one's had the breakout in July and is more or less in a consolidation period. It's had a run up recently and is now heading down. Stochastics looks like it's probably going to start heading lower, so I would look for this one to pull into its 20-day moving average and look for that as a possible buy signal. As for Coca-Cola, this one had a breakout in September and it's more or less moved sideways. This one's had the run up. Now stochastics looks like it has some more play to it. I'd probably look for this one to slowly move higher. As for Procter & Gamble, this one's had the breakout in September and has more or less moved sideways. It's had quite the run lately, so I'd probably look for this one to possibly move down to its 18 and 20-day moving averages, since stochastics is starting to look a little iffy here in the overbought level. But you also have the possibility of stochastics becoming embedded, and you could possibly look for another move higher. As for what is this? Raytheon? This one's more or less moved sideways and has had a golden cross pretty much on all of its moving averages. So this one could be having its breakout right now. Stochastics is getting the overbought level, so I'd look for this one to consolidate a bit and then possibly embed and move higher. As for United Technology, this one's in the slow and steady move higher. Stochastics is starting to get overbought, so once things get into there, it may possibly embed and you may have another explosive move to the upside. So, in review, the moderate buys are Bristol Myers, Chevron, McDonald's, AT&T, IBM, Travelers, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, Raytheon, and UTX, United Technologies, all coming in as moderate buys. You can also see that there are no strong buys at this time. Now again, I'd like to remind you that all analyst recommendations are as of November 13th, 2009. And if you'd like a more up-to-date look at the holdings of the Blackrock Equity Dividend Fund, you can get that on StockPicker and get an average analyst ranking through these free websites. Now, on to my disclaimer. Disclaimer, I am not a licensed investment advisor, and the investments I am showing you today are what I'm doing for my friends and family's accounts. And I'm not affiliated with any of the websites used to determine these rankings. Also, I currently own shares of Chevron, IBM, Coca-Cola, and Total. So again, this is Brian Mckeon from the JMB FLP saying thank you and see you next time. For I'm a whale watcher. Hello, I'm Brian Mckeon, creator of The Predatory Lender. Now, if the previous was a little too boring, try joining the Predatory Lending team as they go on their intergalactic adventures trying to hunt down the next great investment opportunity for you.